have to say. Now, we got all your questions, and we will be asking 5 questions to these candidates. Each candidate will have up to 2 minutes to answer the question. Now, to be fair to the first candidate that's going to get the first question, we will give them up to 1 minute to gather their thoughts, and then once they start speaking, that's when the time starts. Now, you guys all did great on your the green, yellow, and red lights. Now it's the 2 minutes. One thing, they may differ in a lot of different things, but one thing they all have in common, they love to talk. So we're going to try and keep them to 2 minutes to answer the questions. So, candidates, are you ready? Audience, are you ready? Let's go. First question. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes? Okay. Thank you, Brad. Seriously, can you hear me, or do I need to go back up there? Okay. First question is, assuming we take control, the Republicans take control of the House, what do you think the chances are to reverse the new bills, i.e. health care, finance reform, and cap and trade? If so, how? And the first candidate in the order is Dr. Paul Gosar.
As a healthcare provider and a small businessman for 25 years, I will tell you that the best we can do in this aspect is we're not going to be able to repeal that bill in this next 2 years. But you can undermine it. You can start by not appropriating money through the House, but that's still not good enough. And the fact is that the Secretary of Health and Human Services and the Health and Human Services Bureau is actually now starting to put this bill into place. So you're going to have to go back after the Secretary and the Health and Human Services to go find that money. But what you need to do is start to undermine this bill with a series of small bills at the more repugnant parts of the bill. Bring it from the people, make sure that they have buy-in, and make sure that this administration is put solely in front of everybody for how they stand. We are currently doing that right now. I'm one of those people trying to looking at the anti-competitive practices of insurance companies, because, believe it or not, this insurance bill was with the big insurance companies. And what it basically does is make sure that they compete fairly against each other and not colluding together. That forms the basis and undermines the government and their utilization of payments. What you have to do is also look at how we will try to build upon that, and that is making sure that these bills have your blessings on them, because this will be a rough 2 years. And the reason I say that is that you will not have veto power unless there's an act of God to take on this president. So your biggest duty is going to undermine it and prepare for 2012. As a healthcare provider and somebody who's been in the trenches doing this, I'm very familiar. And I've been very familiar with this bill. I've been fighting the Health and Human Services, not only locally, but state and nationally. Thank you very much.
Well, whoever asked that question, I thank you for that, because that was the second item that I had that I didn't have time to answer during my opening remarks. It was healthcare. The likelihood of getting the healthcare bill repealed is unlikely in the next 2 years, but that is what needs to happen. And that is the ideal solution to this problem, because it is a problem. The healthcare bill, as it's written right now, leaves far too much discretion to the Secretary of Health and Human Services. And for those of you who aren't aware, Dr. Don Berwick, who recently was appointed the head of CMS, which is the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, they now have the ability to forge the healthcare into the direction in which they want. Dr. Berwick himself, going back and looking at some of his studies